Now in 4 News Now at 6, many are upset over an extremely graphic anti-abortion ad now airing in Washington and Idaho. Hear why the man behind it created these kinds of ads and why TV stations can't do anything to stop it. And we're tracking Hurricane Milton that's creating some dangerous storm surge on the west coast of Florida. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
I am so sick of stupid celebrities and lying journalists. Why don't you fools follow the science?
That's the start of a new political ad that's now being played across the country. We're not going to show you the rest of the ad because under normal circumstances, it would be considered obscene material. It shows multiple graphic images of an aborted fetus. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Derek Dice. Kirsten O'Connor has the night off. A similar ad has been playing for weeks in a handful of states where Randall Terry is on the ballot for president. The reason it's allowed to even hit the airwaves is because political ads play by a different set of rules than regular commercials. Alexandra Cohen-Yards is in studio now to explain.
Derek, behind me, you can see some of the reactions this ad has brought to social media. We also received multiple calls to our station of concerned viewers. We are just one of the many stations that were required to air this ad today. The reason dates back to 1935 when the Communication Act passed, creating the FCC, which restricts all broadcast networks from censoring a political candidate, even if their ad is graphic or inaccurate. Before airing this ad on ABC, viewers received a disclaimer. The images that followed were still a shock to many. The ad is from Constitution Party candidate Randall Terry, whom will appear on the ballot in various states, including Idaho. His campaign has been largely focused on anti-abortion activism.
My mission is not to win. My mission is to cause Kamala to lose.
Is Terry's approach effective? We asked Dr. Rebecca Donaway, a political communications expert at Gonzaga University.
Someone watches this and feels like they are so moved one way or the other, but they don't like their options to vote. They may disengage from the voting process altogether, which is really problematic for American electoral politics.
Terry stated in an interview with our sister station in Wisconsin that his graphic ads are targeted towards 3% of the Roman Catholic and African American community that are traditionally Democratic. Dr. Donaway does not believe these campaigns will be overly popular with the American public. However, says they could impact low-information voters.
The low-information voters that maybe are not going out of their way to follow a campaign or to follow sort of local news, television campaign ads can be more effective at changing minds, but for the large majority of Americans, a single ad aired this far out from the election is unlikely to really move the needle.
It is important to note that money does not necessarily play a part in determining if these ads are run. This is due to the FCC's requirement that no political ad can be rejected by a broadcast station if sponsored by a legal qualified candidate. You can find more information on the FCC's regulations for political ads on our website at KXLY.com. In studio, Alexandra Cohen-Yards, 4 News Now.
Alexandra, thank you. Keep an eye out on your mailbox because ballots here in Spokane County are now being mailed out. If it feels like you're getting it earlier than usual, well, you'd be right. The county auditor telling us it's mainly due to the large number of ballots that need to go out, saying they expect more than 360,000 ballots to go out between today and tomorrow. They say the turnout for a presidential election is usually around 80% compared to other elections that are between 35 and 55%. They also say the Postal Service's first-class mail takes a little longer than it did a few years ago. Now, imagine receiving your ballot and not being able to understand it. That's a reality for many in Eastern Washington. For people who fall into this category, the voting process is complicated. English isn't their first language, but as U.S. citizens, it's their fundamental right to have their voices heard in the upcoming election. Voting is something they're excited to take part in, and for some, it's the first time they're able to.
But when it comes to the language that is not yours, you have to make sure that they take you through the process like what we did today. It has made me understand quite well what I have to do when it comes to November 5th.
what one local organization did to make sure voters like Justin, who you just heard from, had all the information they needed. Tomorrow on 4 News Now at 6. Well, this Friday is the last day to register to vote online in Idaho. On the ballot, voters will be asked to decide whether to change the way elections operate in the state. Proposition 1 could establish top 4 primaries and ranked choice voting for general elections. Instead of having separate party primaries, there would be one primary ballot where all candidates are listed. The 4 candidates who receive the most votes would then move on to the general election. The proposition would mean that in a general election, voters rank candidates based on their preference. Washington has had a top 2 primary system for years, but this would be a big change for Idaho. State Representative Lance Clough and Idaho Republican Party Chair Dorothy Moon oppose this initiative, arguing that it unnecessarily complicates primaries and benefits the Idaho Democratic Party. For more deadlines on registering to vote, you can visit our elections page online at kxly.com/forthepeople. A new trial date is set for the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students. It will now start on August 11th. It was initially set for next June, but that date was vacated when the case was moved to Ada County. Brian Koberger could face the death penalty if convicted. The judge predicts the trial will last about 3 months and should end on November 7th. That's nearly 3 years since Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were all killed in Moscow. Well, here's a live look from a traffic cam in Tampa, Florida. You can see the road is already flooding because of Hurricane Milton. The strong winds pushing that water all over the road there. Meteorologist Matt Gray watching the storm and everything happening in our local weather here as well.
All right, thank you, Derek. And just here at the bottom of the last hour, Milton officially made landfall in Siesta Key, Florida, right off the coast of Sarasota, as a Category 3 hurricane. Those winds now lashing the Tampa Bay area and will be gradually moving their way across the state as we head through the rest of the night. Something that I found to be quite surprising with this storm and quite shocking as the day unfolded. You can see this line of thunderstorms, one of the outer bands of the storm, now off of the east coast of Florida. Well, this was a prolific tornado producer, one of the highest tornado warning counts that we had seen really in the history of this country for any state. 126 tornado warnings in Florida today. Some tornadoes that I have never tornado structures that I've never seen being a Florida native at any point before. Second most ever for one state in a day when it comes to tornado warnings. Only Alabama in 2011 had more. Here in Spokane, we could be very thankful. We live in a place where tropical weather does not affect us too much. We saw some cloud cover today, but now we're getting set for a beautiful sunset here coming up shortly. Temperatures in the 60s as cool air has rushed in with the cold front. Brought things a little, made things a little breezy at times earlier today. And now we see the cool and dry air rush in, and that means our temperatures will be getting into the frost zone as we head into the morning. So if you still got some of your plants going, need to cover them up tonight. Temperatures will be down into the upper 30s in many places in the morning. And there are some spots, depending on how cloud cover evolves tonight, that could be flirting with the 20s by the time we get up in the morning. So I'll show you where those are, and we'll take a look at the rest of your week after this.
All right, Matt, thanks. We are now in the middle of our annual Coats for Kids campaign, where we're trying to make sure every child in our area has access to a nice warm coat this winter. This year, Goodwill is getting in on the action. Our Chris Crocker is live at Goodwill in Coeur d'Alene, where people have been dropping off coats all day. So, Chris, how's it going out there so far?
Oh, it is going amazing. And, you know, I'm tempted to not tell anybody where this Goodwill is because I have been getting, well, first of all, amazing deals. Look at all of these coats that I'm buying with money that you have donated to Coats for Kids, our generous donors. These are going to be donated to Coats for Kids. Got myself this coat, Derek, that I'm picking up, but amazing deals, and also lots of Halloween stuff. Has nothing to do with Coats for Kids, but if you have a little money left over, because we're going to give your kid a free coat if you need it, you'll be able to come get a little cute Halloween costume. We want that for you and your family. I am joined now now, and I caught you shopping over there, Heather Alexander, the Vice President of Marketing for Goodwill. You found some Halloween goodies.
Absolutely. So, this is a fun place to get your Halloween costumes. We call it our own Halloween Superstore. Looking for great deals on costumes where you can just create things from what you already find in our stores all year long. Pick up a few pieces. If you're looking for tips, if that's not your specialty, you can go to our website at discovergoodwill.org and find all sorts of ideas for how you can create some of the hot Halloween costumes with items that you can find at Goodwill, supplement with your closet, and boom, you've got a inexpensive, fun Halloween costume that nobody else is going to have, and you didn't spend $100 to do it, because how many of us have the money to do that?
That's right. And if you bring a new or gently used coat to Goodwill tonight, we will give you a gift card for $5 off of the
main store only tonight from 5 to 7 p.m.
Fun. And we'll be back in just a few minutes to show you where you can donate. Derek?
All right, like that coat you picked up too, Chris. Take your phone out right now and you can scan this QR code. It will take you to our website where you can find the closest drop-off locations near you. I'm sure they're the coolest as well. Again, you can drop off anytime between now and October the 31st. And if you miss that QR code, you can also find the list on KXLY.com by clicking on Coats for Kids under the features section. And once all those coats are collected, we will take them to get them cleaned. Then they'll be distributed to community centers across the Inland Northwest. Coming up in about 20 minutes, we'll introduce you to some of the dedicated individuals responsible for handing out the coats and hear the impact they're having for families in need. And 1,000 new homes could soon be built in Spokane's Latah Valley neighborhood. We'll explain what the developer wants to do to deal with traffic concerns once the homes are filled.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
Save your greed!
From the ages of 13 to 15, I experienced childhood sexual abuse, and the abuse ended when I became pregnant. I made the choice to end my pregnancy. In Congress, Dave Reichert voted to ban abortion nationwide. He voted against exceptions. Reichert said as governor, he would work to unravel protection for abortion access here, and I think that is cruel. If Reichert becomes governor, I believe women are in danger. He's wrong for Washington.
4 News Now and STCU are recognizing volunteers who make a difference in our community. Today, we honor Sindhu Sarapanini. She created a nonprofit that inspires youth to accept who they are by empowering self-confidence and growth.
Sindhu is an active leader in her community, teaching art and dance, raising funds for nonprofits, and serving over 1,000 volunteer hours.
As I got older, I realized that I have the ability to help make a change, so that's why I'm doing this.
Thanks to STCU for helping to make sure volunteers count.
Discover the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester at Parker Subaru.
Built with quality engineering, advanced safety, and off-road capabilities, the Forester remains one of Motor Trend's top-ranked compact SUVs. Drive with confidence in any weather with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive.
Make parking a breeze with the 360-degree surround view monitor. The 2025 Subaru Forester, ready for any adventure.
See the all-new Subaru Forester at Parker Subaru in beautiful Coeur d'Alene.
So what do you think about these?
We like this.
Yeah, we love that.
When it's time for an update or complete remodel, Rebath is with you every step of the way.
We're going to take everything down to the
From design and products to removal and installation, we handle the entire process to create a beautiful and functional bathroom for whatever your life needs.
Honey, you were right. Turned out.
Rebath, with you every step of the way. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $750 off your tub or shower remodel.
Next ET, before Adam Brody was a hot rabbi, he was a humble heartthrob.
Hi, ET. Adam Brody here. Thanks for coming and taking a peek into my life. Really unglamorous. Ow.
Next ET. Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
Okay, we've got Jets fans, we've got Bills fans, and we're about to get down to it for GMA's ultimate Monday Night Football tailgate. So, Bills, Jets, which fans are about to represent biggest and best? Don't miss GMA Monday.
Well, a massive housing development is under review in Latah Valley. The project would bring more than 1,000 new homes and townhomes to the area. The proposed site is along Thorpe Road and Highway 195, a few miles north of the recently approved Marshall Creek housing development that we told you about recently. Jordan Smith is live at that site tonight. And Jordan, this would be a massive project if it gets the green light.
Oh yeah, this is a huge project. It would transform about 176 acres of land here behind me into 1,000 new townhomes / single-family homes. We actually found out about this from a letter that somebody sent us asking us to look into this project. And while the prospect of new houses coming to the Latah Valley might be exciting for some, others that live here are worried that this would create a whole lot of congestion on the roads here.
Along scenic, windy Thorpe Road, you'll find rolling meadows and endless trees. A developer is hopeful to give those views to 1,000 new families with the Victory Heights development. On your screen here is a rendering of what the project would look like. It'll bring new housing, but a familiar headache for drivers.
So one of the concerns pointed out in this letter is that this project is going to bring hundreds of cars onto Thorpe Road. They'll have to navigate through 2 of these old railroad tunnels, and then at the end of the day, those cars are going to have to come back out here to 195. So there's concern that this would really clog up this area.
In fact, according to the traffic impact study done for this development, Thorpe is currently being used by about 1,200 drivers every morning. This project would add about 600 more cars to the peak morning total. All of those cars and trucks would have to navigate this 2-lane road. But with future infrastructure projects down the pipe, like adding an acceleration lane to Highway 195 and expanding Lindekey to Thorpe, developers are hopeful this project will unfold in conjunction with those upgrades. The city says the Victory Heights project has been received and the application is under review.
And back in May, the city of Spokane passed a moratorium on housing developments within city limits. And you might be asking, why would this project be considered if there's a moratorium in place? Well, there was kind of an asterisk with that, in that any project that was submitted prior to that moratorium going into effect could still be considered. So in the next couple of days, or maybe even the next week, we'll keep an eye out on whether or not the city moves in one way or the other when it comes to this project, but we'll keep you updated as soon as we find out. Reporting live in Latah Valley tonight, Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
And you see Jordan's got the coat on. It is going to be a little chilly in the morning, certainly enough for some sweatshirt weather to start off the day. Look at Deer Park getting down into the 20s, especially with our skies really starting to clear out this evening. We will be on the road to some frosty conditions in the morning. We'll take you around the rest of the inland Northwest and talk about the rest of your week coming up.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Disney on Ice.
I had surgery as a child that I barely remember, but decades later, the insurance company called that a pre-existing condition and denied me long-term care insurance. Washington State created a long-term care benefit to help millions of people like me afford the care we need. But I-2124 will take that benefit away, leaving millions with no way to get or afford long-term care. If it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. That's why we all have to vote no on I-2124.
Are you ready to stay for less and play for more? The Kootenai Casino has low room rates and our most exciting gaming yet. Book now to get your deluxe room at the Kootenai Falls Lodge for just $99 every midweek night in October. And join us for October Hot Spins, Weekend Super Spins, and catch the game Monday nights. Win big in October. Book your getaway at the Kootenai Casino today. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
At Carpet One, we can help you find the perfect floor.
Mom, I spilled again.
Try this. It's waterproof. I think this is it. Come see it in store. Our experts have it organized by color and style.
And right now, we're making floor shopping an easy choice with a one-step flooring sale, where you can save up to 50% or get special financing.
2 locations, Flooring Outlet and Sandpoint Furniture Carpet One.
In Spokane, access to quality health care is a growing need for many families. The Native Project provides sacred hospitality to the Spokane community, ensuring every patient feels cherished and respected.
The Native Project provides medical, dental, behavioral health, pharmacy, and wellness services for everyone. We serve Native and non-Native patients, focusing on balance of mind, body, and spirit.
Numerica Credit Union is honored to donate $1,000 to the Native Project. This is how Numerica cares for kids.
It's a 4-day four-wheel drive sale this week at Cal.
Where for 4 days only, Cal is dropping the prices on four-wheel drives. Plus, giving you an extra $400 for your trade-in.
Which is a double $800 reason to upgrade your ride from Cal.
Well, getting around Downriver Golf Course in Spokane is about to get a whole lot easier. This off-season, crews will be working to improve the cart paths there. It just needs a seal of approval from the Park Board, which will vote on the $292,000 bid later this week. Now, that may sound like a lot, but the Park Board agenda shows golf has brought in $6.3 million this year, outpacing expenses by nearly $2 million. And you want to get your tee times in while you still can, because it's starting to get a little chilly across the inland Northwest, and Matt, it'll be especially chilly overnight tonight.
Yes, it will be especially chilly overnight tonight, especially compared to how we started off the week, where it felt like September. We had 70s. It was very comfortable all through the day. Well, you'll definitely need the sweater in the morning. It's going to be a frosty night. We'll see cooler, more typical October temperatures on Thursday. We'll have more chances for the northern lights coming up this week, providing our weather cooperates, and then we may have a stray sprinkle or two to tease us with the possibility of rain on Friday. So let's take a look here at our lows across the region for tonight. Places like Winthrop down to 27. We'll see 40s around Coeur d'Alene. The further south you go, generally the warmer it's going to be, and that's because a lot of our cloud cover, especially in north central Idaho, isn't going to go away tonight. And the more cloud cover we have, that acts like a little bit of a blanket, right? Keeps us a little bit warmer underneath that blanket. Meanwhile, where we're seeing our clouds clear, we're also seeing that cool, dry air moving in. And what you're seeing on your screen now, a visual depiction of that cool, dry air in those orange and red colors. Plus, these numbers, what we call the dew point, the lower that number is, the less moisture is in the atmosphere, and the cooler that it can get at night, especially when the skies are clear and all that heat from the day can just escape and move itself away from the ground. And that is what we're going to see in our northern counties here as we go for most of the night with things being clear. We are going to see some more high cloud cover moving in very late tonight, but it will also be moving out fairly quickly. And so we should be clear for enough hours of the night north of I-90 to where we will end up with some fairly chilly temperatures. And if you still got some plants going, you need to cover them up tonight. Let's take a look at these areas that will see more clear skies than not throughout the overnight hours, and look at Deer Park down to 29, Newport down to freezing as well, freezing in Chewelah and Colville and Republic, Omak down to 36. Remember, 37 is that magic number. You get right there or right below that, you have a risk of frost. So Spokane, Metro Spokane, you're in there as well. Davenport going to be cooler at 34. You get to places like Coulee City and you're in the 40s. Other places in the 40s, don't have to worry about frost all that much. Coeur d'Alene, Kellogg, Wallace, but you head further north. Even just up to Hayden, you'll be in the upper 30s. From downtown Coeur d'Alene, mid-30s in places like Athol and Sandpoint, upper 30s as you move down in elevation just a hair into Bonners Ferry. Then we have a beautiful day set up tomorrow. Honestly, pretty good golfing day. We got the course there, one of the courses in the background. Temperatures in the 50s through about noon or so, and we'll be right about average with our afternoon highs right around 64 degrees. Not sure where that was going there. Put something wrong in. Anyway, here's your 7-day forecast. Chance for aurora the next couple of nights. I'm going to talk more about that during the 6:30 hours, so stick around with us. But here's what you should be paying attention to right now. Look at that weekend. It is going to be beautiful. We're going back to the 70s for at least a couple of days. This has been an amazing stretch of October weather. Looks like it's going to continue and mostly dry for Friday.
All right, Matt, thank you. Washington State football is hoping to learn from last year's mistakes. We hear from the Cougs ahead of their matchup against Fresno State.
I just see a little girl in the road screaming and for help.
And a man in Western Washington helped save 2 children trapped in this car. Why first responders say this was one of the most difficult rescues of their career, coming up.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
During our spectacular savings event, save up to $15,000 off or 0% APR on a new GMC Sierra 1500. There are never any dealer-added markups on new vehicles. And ask about our 3-day return and 7-day exchange at GMC of Riverfront Park.
What's all this? You said it was a recovery day. I got my yoga mat, foam roller, electrolytes, and protein bars. The whole setup.
Refrigerant recovery, Ben. We're recovering the refrigerant to fix the heat pump.
Oh, right. I knew that. Want a protein bar?
Get a free heat pump with every furnace purchase at Bill's Heating and AC while supplies last. Call now.
Electrolyte?
Ben, take the robe off.
Corner Furniture is proudly turning 45.
And as a 45th anniversary present to ourselves, we decided to get a facelift.
Well, for our showroom anyway.
As a 45th anniversary present to you, we are lowering prices on everything in our showroom.
This means special anniversary pricing on all living room, dining room, and bedroom furniture.
And no matter what, we always guarantee the lowest Lazy Boy prices.
Come see our upgraded showroom and upgrade your rooms during Corner Furniture's 45th anniversary sale.
When I was told I needed radiation treatment for a brain tumor, I couldn't stop thinking about what could happen to my memories. Those moments I cherish from growing up, of finding myself, of the people I love, of what I've created. But they all just fade away. But when I learned how precise treatment was with Gamma Knife, I was reassured that those moments would be preserved. Because it's not only about protecting the memories I've made, but the ones I have yet to create.
Many great careers don't need a 4-year degree. They start out here. Bob Ferguson has a detailed plan to expand apprenticeships and on-the-job training like I had to get more Washingtonians the skills they need to succeed. And Bob will eliminate 4-year degree requirements for most state jobs, opening doors to more good-paying careers. I would support Bob Ferguson, even if he wasn't my kid brother, but it helps he listens to old machinists like me.
Bob Ferguson for governor.
During our spectacular savings event, save up to $8,500 off or 3.9% APR on a new Sierra 2500 HD Pro. There are never any dealer-added markups on new vehicles. And ask about our 3-day return and 7-day exchange at GMC of Riverfront Park.
4 News Now is brought to you by River Park Square.
Well, the rapidly growing city of Post Falls now has its own hospital. Just over a month ago, Post Falls ER and Hospital began operations. Our Hunter Bertram toured it today and discussed their model of transparency so you don't have to pay more than you expect after your visit.
Only 5 weeks ago, the Post Falls ER and Hospital opened its doors along the I-90 corridor. They had the aim to solve the gap in medical care for the Post Falls community.
As most people can see, our area has grown significantly in the past 10 years.
Which Dr. Robert Seeley and 13 other physicians took note of, eventually opening this new facility near Cabela's in Post Falls.
And one of the needs in our community certainly is access to care. And so we're really excited to be able to provide another option for that access to care.
But they're doing it a little different than other care facilities, so that when you enter the hospital's sliding doors, you don't leave with a shocking bill.
Every person that comes to the emergency department, we do what we call a medical screening exam.
They evaluate how dire the situation is, and if it's not an emergency, they give the patient
a pretty reasonable idea of what the bill for the visit would be, and so thereby they can help in that medical decision making as to whether they would like to seek that care or not.
Dr. Seeley says this practice is for transparency, a core value of the practice. Now, they do work with insurance providers to cover the costs, but since it's a practitioner-owned facility, they can't submit bills to Medicare.
That doesn't mean that we can't take care of those folks. It just means that we can't bill their insurance.
And in the coming weeks, they will begin outpatient.
And unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties there with the end of Hunter's package, but you can look for that later on KXLY.com. All right, we are continuing to track Hurricane Milton that has now made landfall in Florida. How the Biden administration is preparing to help those caught in the middle of it. Next on 4 News Now at 6.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
We're fired up about our latest addition to Holiday Electrical Services. Electric fireplaces. A sleek modern design or a little classic charm, we have the fireplace to match your style and space. And the best part, no chimney needed. Call and schedule today. Holiday heating, cooling, and electric.
It's time for 4 News Now, Coats for Kids!
Drop off new or gently used coats at any of our sponsored locations. We'll bring them to Alsco for professional cleaning, then get them out to local children in need. Donate Coats for Kids through October 31st.
Your locally owned Papa Murphy's is proud to be part of Coats for Kids this year.
Now through the end of October, bring in a coat donation to any Eastern Washington or North Idaho Papa Murphy's location.
And receive a $4 off coupon good for any large or family-sized pizza.
Custom is more than choosing from a few fabric options. With True Custom Upholstery by Bassett, you get control over almost every detail, so you can design a sofa that's perfect for you. From the style of the arms and legs to the cushion and pillow shape. Perfect style, perfect comfort, created for you. Get 30% off Bassett Custom Upholstery at the Tin Roof for a limited time only.
We're fired up about our latest addition to Holiday Electrical Services. Electric fireplaces. A sleek modern design or a little classic charm, we have the fireplace to match your style and space. And the best part, no chimney needed. Call and schedule today. Holiday heating, cooling, and electric.
Imagine trying to vote and not understanding your ballot. It's a reality for many people in Washington.
People were not voting because there are barriers to voting.
But one local organization is changing that reality.
I am very excited. My vote is gonna count as well.
What it's doing to make sure every voter has the information they need, even when English isn't their first language.
It has made me understand quite well.
Thursday on 4 News Now at 6.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Well, here is a live radar of Hurricane Milton, and as you can see, it's currently making its way through western Florida. It made landfall about an hour ago as a Category 3 hurricane. Even before reaching Florida, Milton's strong winds caused tornadoes to form across the Sunshine State. Here is video of one of those tornadoes, this one forming in Alligator Alley, about an hour west of Fort Lauderdale. Another tornado in St. Lucie County, causing this structure to collapse on top of these patrol cars. Weather experts have been warning about Milton for days now, with some calling it a once-in-a-century storm. It's so powerful, state and federal officials say rescue missions will be next to impossible. But President Biden says they will be ready once it passes.
Secretary of Defense Austin has pre-positioned search and rescue teams, helicopters, and high water speed vehicles as close to the storm as possible, so they're ready to conduct life-saving missions.
Now, meteorologist Matt Gray joins us now. And Matt, you've covered many hurricanes during your time in Florida. So how does this compare to others that we've seen over the last few years?
Well, this is going to be one of the worst ones, right? So a couple of years ago, we had Hurricane Ian. That's probably the worst that I have experienced, or at least, you know, that one's a little hard to talk about.
Yeah.
Just watching places that you know and that you have lived at before. It can be a difficult experience. So let's talk about Milton, right? So why were they calling it a once-in-a-century storm? Well, it's been about a century since there was a direct hurricane strike in the city of Tampa. Now, here's the thing. There's this bay that opens to the south and to the west. And so if you get the south side of a hurricane comes right up this bay, all of the Gulf of Mexico is going to move into a million-plus metro area. That was the nightmare scenario. Now, there's some good and there's some, well, there's way more bad than good with this, but this storm went about 30 miles further south into the Sarasota area, so that is largely going to spare a lot of areas around Tampa Bay from what could have been considerably worse flooding that would have taken years and years and years to recover from. However, everywhere south of where Milton has come in, so you're talking about very popular vacation places like Sarasota, you go to places like Port Charlotte, around Cape Coral, Fort Myers, all of the Gulf of Mexico is being pushed inland by these powerful winds from this storm. And so what legacy this storm leaves behind is going to be measured in the storm surge there on the Gulf Coast of Florida, and all the tornadoes, which are things that I have never seen before living and growing up in Florida. Tornadoes of that ferocity is something that we're just not very used to living in the Sunshine State. The other thing that we're going to start noticing here over the next 24 hours is the storm tracks across the state, and you will see lots of pictures of inland flooding as these storms bring incredible amounts of rain. We saw that in the North Carolina mountains with Helene. So here we are in the inland Northwest, and thankfully we get to just observe these things and not have to live through them ourselves. For us, it's going to be a frosty night tonight. We'll have cooler conditions for Thursday, and we have another chance to see the Aurora Borealis in about 24 hours from now. So I'm going to take you through that timeline. We'll talk about also a chance for maybe 1 or 2 sprinkles and some much needed rain before the week is out. That's coming up.
All right, Matt, thank you so much. The temperatures are dropping, and pretty soon winter will be here. Our annual Coats for Kids campaign is well underway, and we're hoping you can help us keep kids warm this winter. Our Chris Crocker is live in Coeur d'Alene tonight, where Goodwill is helping us collect coats. Chris, how can people help kids this winter?
Oh, it is really easy with our brand new partner, Goodwill, all across eastern Washington and North Idaho. Donation service centers just like this. You drive up with your gently used household goods. We just saw some dining room furniture go in, and each donation service center has one of these familiar boxes, so you can give them your housewares and drop off coats as well. In fact, if you hustle down in the next 20 minutes or so and bring me a coat, I will give you a $5 gift card to shop at Goodwill, which we have been doing a lot of. And I wanted to introduce you to Heather Alexander, who is the marketing vice president for Goodwill. And we're so happy to have you for a new partner. And tell me just briefly about the mission of Goodwill and how the sales help people in our community.
So our mission is together we create opportunities that change lives and strengthen communities. And so throughout our service area, Eastern Washington, North Idaho, 23 counties, our programs help people with employment and training and getting the housing stable and becoming financially stable themselves. And our stores are the primary funding mechanism for that. So every time you shop in our stores, every time you donate to us, we sell those items in our stores, and then 85 cents of every dollar then goes to help fund those programs to help thousands of people in our communities locally. So that your donations are staying here locally to really make a difference in people's lives. So it really is just a great fit for us to partner with KXLY and be helping kids in need in our communities this winter. So,
and I'm so excited that you are. This is going to be a great partnership. And we'll have one last look at the beautiful autumn decor here at Goodwill at the end of the news, Derek.
All right. Yeah, glad to have Goodwill on board. Once all the coats have been donated, they are taken to be cleaned and then brought to distribution sites across the inland Northwest. Madeline Mullins got to speak with some of the people who work at those distribution sites and get to see firsthand how a new coat can change a child's life.
Seeing the smile on a kid's face when they get that new coat is pretty amazing.
That smile is what Dave Richardson says is his favorite part of helping give out coats. As executive director at the Northeast Community Center, he says there is a need for this in the community.
Coats are expensive. Kids outgrow them. They lose them at school and other places. And so being able to give them that coat saves the family resources. Last year we gave out 1,024 coats to 308 different families.
Here at Goodwill, people have already started donating coats, just like this blue one right here. And these will get cleaned and then taken to distribution sites, just like the West Central Community Center. Lisa Fuchs, who works at the West Central Community Center, has helped hand out coats for the last 17 years.
For families, it takes a burden off of being able to keep your kids warm and in something that they want to wear.
Behind helping to relieve that burden is a whole group of volunteers.
We've had so many people from the neighborhood that we've made friends with just because they're excited about this program to come and volunteer.
Fuchs says that over a week, volunteers help to sort the coats, set them out on racks, and help kids pick out their favorite.
It gives you such a joy to watch them walk out because you know that if it's something that they feel good in, it's something they're going to wear.
Helping kids feel good in their winter coats is why Fuchs says this program is so important and why she is back to help for another year. In Spokane, I'm Madeline Mullins, 4 News Now.
Well, Gonzaga women's basketball coach Lisa Fortier reached another milestone.
Yeah, only this time it was off the court. The latest in her battle against cancer and how it impacts Gonzaga's season. That's next in sports.
Habitat for Humanity is building 7 new homes here in Spokane Valley, and it's using its most popular event of the year to do it.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Mainstream Electric Heating, Cooling, Plumbing.
At Parker Toyota, our commitment to you begins the moment you drive off the lot in your new vehicle.
We have more Toyota Master Diagnostic technicians than anyone in the Northwest.
That means our technicians are the most experienced at identifying and fixing any mechanical issues, ensuring that your Toyota receives the care it deserves.
Open 7 days a week. Call or go online to schedule your appointment at parkertoyota.com.
My credit score is more than just a number. It's my future. P1FCU knows how important it is too, which is why it's so easy to check your score every time you check your online banking. It's a piece of cake. Plus, it doesn't just let you check your score, it gives you recommendations on how to improve it. It also shows you how different things could be affecting your score.
Open your P1FCU checking account at p1fcu.org and start earning today.
From the ages of 13 to 15, I experienced childhood sexual abuse, and the abuse ended when I became pregnant. I made the choice to end my pregnancy. In Congress, Dave Reichert voted to ban abortion nationwide. He voted against exceptions. Reichert said as governor, he would work to unravel protection for abortion access here, and I think that is cruel. If Reichert becomes governor, I believe women are in danger. He's wrong for Washington.
It's a 4-day four-wheel drive sale this week at Cal.
Where for 4 days only, Cal is dropping the prices on four-wheel drives. Plus, giving you an extra $400 for your trade-in.
Which is a double $800 reason to upgrade your ride from Cal.
Take a journey through the magical stories of Frozen 2, Aladdin, and more at Disney on Ice presents Magic in the Stars. Coming to Spokane Arena October 18th through 20th. Tickets on sale now. For show details, visit DisneyOnIce.com today.
What's all this?
You said it was a recovery day. I got my yoga mat, foam roller, electrolytes, and protein bars. The whole setup.
Refrigerant recovery, Ben. We're recovering the refrigerant to fix the heat pump.
Oh, right. I knew that. Want a protein bar?
Get a free heat pump with every furnace purchase at Bill's Heating and AC while supplies last. Call now.
Electrolyte?
Ben, take the robe off.
Well, dozens of volunteers in Spokane Valley for Habitat Humanity's Women's Build. The event has become so popular, Habitat for Humanity is actually doing 2 women builds this year. Derek Strom spoke to volunteers who are building 7 new homes in Spokane Valley.
I think that's for me, just being able to look around and seeing all of the establishments in the communities and neighborhoods now is really special.
Habitat for Humanity's most popular event of the year, Women Build, is kicking off its 2nd event of the year. Hundreds of volunteers have signed up for the 4-day event to build fencing and lay the foundation for 6 new homes.
We've been really packing the entire events. I was actually just asking Claire and Dana with Habitat today if it was completely full, and it has been. And so they've been really popular, and I think year over year, just bringing more people for awareness of joining in has been cool to see.
But the purpose of Women Build is also to address some of the challenges women face in order to become homeowners. Habitat Spokane says around 60% of the families it works with are single-parent households led by women. And with the median home resale price nearly doubling in Spokane County over the last 5 years, Habitat for Humanity's goal of supplying affordable housing is more important than ever.
And then they provide housing and mortgages that are alongside with their income. So instead of having to qualify for a traditional mortgage, they're coming in alongside to make sure that it's affordable for the individuals.
Galladay has been volunteering with Habitat for Humanity for the last 10 years, and she's been a part of the Women Build Steering Committee for 2 years. She says one of her favorite parts of working with Habitat is being able to see the difference her work is making in the Spokane community.
You're actually getting hands-on and contributing our time and talent and efforts toward the whole entire process that Habitat has going. And so just being able to know that you're providing that stability and being able to bring families together feels really cool.
Habitat for Humanity still has a few spots open for Women Build volunteers, and you can register on its website. In Spokane Valley, Derek Strom, 4 News Now.
Whoever executes wins. And executes, I think, is an all-encompassing word, right? People say physicality, toughness, effort. No. Execution is all that.
Well, the message pretty clear from WSU head coach Jake Dickert there. The Cougars will look to execute better against Fresno State this weekend. Sports director Julian Minnesone joins us, and that's often a little easier said than done, Julian.
Yeah, Coug fans might still have PTSD from last season as they look like a completely different team after the bye week, losing 6 of their final 7 games and failing to qualify for a bowl game. Head coach Jake Dickert is doing everything he can to prevent that from happening again. He says the attitude and urgency of this year's team is a lot better. They're not taking the 4-1 record granted for start. Now, Dickert expects the Cougs to have a chip on their shoulder when they take the field in Fresno this weekend.
Urgency is something that you need to have in everything that you do. I just think this team has maybe a touch more urgency and focus to what they want to do. And there's a great opportunity in front of us, and it's Fresno State.
And kickoff for that one's at 4 o'clock on Saturday. Now, the Seattle Kraken have made a number of moves to solidify their future. They hired a new head coach for this season in Dan Bilesma, and they now have a goalkeeper for years to come. Seattle signing goaltender Joey Daccord to a 5-year extension worth $25 million. Daccord, who is entering the final year of his contract, saved the Kraken last season after taking over the starting job for the injured Philip Grubauer. In 46 starts, Daccord had a .916 save percentage and gave Seattle some much-needed stability in the net. Now, this move could put Grubauer's future in question as he becomes a free agent in 2 years. Now, the Kraken opened the 2024 season with a 3-2 loss to the St. Louis Blues. They had a 2-goal lead but gave it up. The team says it's only game 1, and the future is still bright.
We got to look back and see where we went wrong. There was a lot of good tonight. It's even hard for me to say that losing 3-2 when you're up by 2. So first one's out of the way. We got 81 more opportunities to play well, and there's no doubt my mind will bounce back from this one.
And the next opportunity is on the road against the Minnesota Wild on Saturday. Gonzaga women's basketball coach Lisa Fortier reached another milestone, only this one was off the court. Fortier completed her breast cancer treatment and was greeted by her players and fellow coaches. Last month, Fortier announced that she has been battling breast cancer since February. She had surgery in April before starting treatment in the summer. Fortier has been the head coach at GU since 2014 and plans to be on the sideline full-time this season, meaning she had all of that going on in the middle of their NCAA tournament run. Pretty incredible to finish that out and to have the plan to at least be coaching on the sidelines. Yeah. Wow, courageous right there.
Yep, we're all with you, Coach. Hang in there. All right, we'll be right back.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Go from virtual to reality in a weekend. At Floor Trader, you'll find more samples and more selection in one place. With big box prices and small town service, this weekend at Floor Trader, we're paying your sales tax.
This is important information from AARP and BECU. What comes to mind when you hear the phrase long-term care? The reality is that it comes in many forms depending on the situation. Washington State strives to support programs that allow aging adults to live in their own homes where they want to be. Whether it be health and personal care, transportation assistance, or support from our state's long-term care insurance program, there are many resources for our loved ones in addition to their caregivers. Find tools and tips at this website.
Too many politicians are too busy fighting each other, but I just want to get things done to make people's lives better. I'm Maria Cantwell. I led a bipartisan initiative to bring computer chip manufacturing and other supply chains back to America, generating billions in private sector investment to make the chips that run our cars, our appliances, and even our farm equipment, creating jobs, boosting our competitiveness, and lowering costs. It's beginning to work. That's why I approve this message.
It's a 4-day four-wheel drive sale this week at Cal.
Where for 4 days only, Cal is dropping the prices on four-wheel drives. Plus, giving you an extra $400 for your trade-in.
Which is a double $800 reason to upgrade your ride from Cal.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on our next job. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXLY.com to nominate it. Our thanks to Horizon Credit Union for sponsoring the 4 News Now Extreme Team.
Spokane's hottest music.
Break me for so done with you, girl. I've been popping, man, I feel just like a rock star.
Hot 96.9.
It's RAV4 season at Findlay Downtown Toyota. And that means some of the biggest savings of the year with great financing and incredible lease options as we clear out all 2024 models this week at Findlay.
Go from virtual to reality in a weekend. At Floor Trader, you'll find more samples and more selection in one place. With big box prices and small town service, this weekend at Floor Trader, we're paying your sales tax.
It's a new season of Live with Kelly and Mark.
Weekdays at 9 a.m.
Thanks for watching 4 News Now at 6. As you may have noticed in recent weeks, we're talking about the Northern Lights a lot. And that's because next year is the peak of the 11-year solar cycle that we're currently on. That means we're seeing a lot of sunspots right now. Sunspots create those solar storms, and we are well above this red line so far this solar cycle, which means it's been a busy one, an above average one. Well, we got another solar storm, another CME headed our way. We've got a geomagnetic storm watch from the U.S. Space Weather Prediction Center, level 4 out of 5. That means there's widespread aurora. There could be some GPS and radio disruption problems Thursday and Friday. We're going to keep you updated on KXLY.com and the 4 News Now weather app. Make sure that you have an opportunity to see some of those northern lights. We saw one on just a couple of days ago, and it was spectacular. It looks like we'll have another chance, especially on Thursday night with some clearing cloud cover. So here are our lows for tonight. Definitely want to cover up the plants. A lot of places will have an opportunity to see some frosty weather. Average temperatures tomorrow, sunshine during the afternoon, a little bit of cloud cover in the morning. Clouds trying to roll in during the evening, but I think there's going to be a window as long as the aurora arrives at some point during the daylight hours on our side of the planet tomorrow. Temperatures, as we mentioned, very comfortable right now in the 60s. Those will be our highs for tomorrow. Beautiful weekend coming up here. It's going to be amazing. Sunny and in the 70s, and we'll keep the good times rolling into the start of next week.
All right, Matt, thank you. Around the Northwest now. Over the weekend, a man helped rescue 2 children who were trapped in a car in Cowlitz County in southwest Washington following a deadly crash. First responders say it was one of the most complicated rescues they have ever seen. Fox 12's Carly Olson explains what made this rescue so difficult and what investigators say possibly saved the children's lives.
It was just a typical drive home for Danny Nye on a road he's taken hundreds of times until
I come around the corner and I just see a little girl in the road screaming and for help, and I looked over the hill and I could see a car that had flipped over several times. I could see and hear other kids in the car
He immediately ran down the ravine and did his best to get the 2-year-old and 9-year-old trapped inside to safety.
I asked the baby if he could duck its head down, or I needed to get real small so I could only have a little area to get him out of. And I kept telling the other boy I won't leave you or whatever, I'll get you out.
But a piece of metal from the car's roof kept the older boy stuck.
I never felt so helpless in my life. I could not get that kid out of there.
That's when Cowlitz Fire and other crews arrived to finish the job, despite the car's precarious position on a slope.
I've been in this district 26 years, and I've never seen a wreck in that area to that complexity. That I was stress sweating at one point due to the complexity and the entrapment of that patient.
Any extrication, we have plan A, plan B, plan C. I think we were all the way to plan L. By the time we finally got the subject out of the vehicle.
When they finally got the passengers out, the older boy was life-flighted to OHSU. He's expected to recover, but the car's driver was declared dead at the scene. Nye says the way the kids were strapped into their car seats likely saved their lives, and the situation left him shaken.
Dealing with the kids and them yelling for help and screaming, you just want to help them. I mean, that's the hard part.
And as a father himself, it's a situation he hopes to never encounter again.
I have an 8-year-old and a 16-year-old, and I was like, man, I would hope somebody would help them, if something happened. You got to not take that stuff for granted. You never know.
Wow. All right, as we go to break, here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup for tonight.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
It's Truck Month at Findlay Downtown Toyota, and that means our lot is stacked and packed full with over 100 of the best Toyota Tundras and Tacoma trucks. And we are dropping prices dramatically on all 2024 models to move them out, plus delaying all payments until next year. And as an added bonus, we are giving extra money for your trade-ins. So if you're even thinking of a new truck for winter, come on down to Findlay.
Hello, I'm Mark Peterson. It's that time of year again when Washington Trust Bank helps you dispose of your sensitive documents and protect your identity with 4 easy steps. First, drive to one of their 6 participating drive-through locations. Second, fill your seal and shred bag with documents that you want to destroy. Third, secure the seal and shred bag. Then drop off your bag at Debris where they will destroy your documents in their secure space. Shred Day is Friday, October 18th from 9 to 5. Pick up your seal and shred bag at one of their 6 participating locations.
Bathfitter does showers? That's right. We offer a wide selection of beautiful and functional showers in all shapes and sizes. We can even convert your bath into a shower. How about that? With our seamless one-piece walls and hundreds of design options, you'll get a beautiful new shower to fit your needs, guaranteed for life. Bathfitter's been around for 40 years, and we've been experts at showers for just as long. Get yours today. Bathfitter, it just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
Did you know that Spokane Hyperbaric Center uses oxygen to reduce pain, inflammation, and swelling?
I didn't know that.
Did you know that hyperbaric oxygen therapy promotes new blood vessel growth, fights infection, and releases more stem cells from your bone marrow? I didn't know that. Would you like to know if Spokane Hyperbaric Center is the right choice for you? Go to hyperbarichope.com to find out.
Spokane Hyperbaric Center gave us hope. And now you know.
I just wanna have fun, clap my hands, turn around now and dance, dance, dance. I just wanna clap, clap, turn around, dance. I just wanna clap, clap, turn around, dance, dance. I just wanna clap, clap, turn around, dance, dance. I just wanna clap, clap, turn around, dance, dance. I just wanna have fun, turn around.
Find fall fashion and a whole lot more at River Park Square.
4 News Now is brought to you by Kerner Furniture.
We're wrapping up here at the beautiful Goodwill in Coeur d'Alene. I got my treasures, but as I walk out the door, look at this beautiful display. I think I'm going to have to pick up a few more things. Heather, and you tell me these will go fast.
These will go fast. So if you like them, come tonight before 8 o'clock or come first thing tomorrow morning when we open. You know, they do such a great job with merchandising things, but so many of our stores, you can find such great things for all of your holiday needs. needs, whether you're spooky Halloween or you're a harvest person. And the best thing is that all those funds are going to support our social service programs in Eastern Washington and North Idaho, helping thousands of men, women, and kids all year long.
Thank you, Heather. And drop off a coat while you're here. And Derek, I think you're going to have to come check out the bargains here at Goodwill. You will find some things.
Might have to do it. All right, Chris, thank you so much. Well, coming up tonight on Nightside, Hurricane Milton has made landfall on the west coast of Florida, as we've been telling you. Breaking details on what's expected to be one of the strongest hurricanes on record to hit that region.
And here's your forecast back home in the inland Northwest. Boy, that weekend, it is going to be very, very nice. You know, I picked a good weekend to take some time off. I don't know.
Got plans?
Oh, I've got some plans. I'm gonna be all over the place this weekend. But man, we're gonna have some great weather if you want to get out and do some things. It's gonna be awesome.
I think a lot of people will be taking advantage of the 70+ degree temperatures over the weekend. All right, thanks so much for being with us here on 4 News Now at 6. We'll see you at Nightside at 11.